We are now joined by Arlene, and we're talking about, Arlene, an experience you had in life that most people don't wish on anybody, but yet you had to go through it, and you found some good positives towards the end of it, and it's all turned out well. But let's start out by talking a little bit about what went on here in your life.
3 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And when I was diagnosed, I decided that I was going to live through the disease, that I was taking my treatments of radiation and chemo because I wanted to live. But I also wanted to live every minute during those treatments. And I did them, and I did them, I think, pretty well. But I did decide during the treatments that I was not going to wear a wig because I wanted to experience the whole thing to the fullest. And one day, I went on a bus trip to New York City with my daughter and granddaughter at Christmas time. And we had done this for years and years and years. And I decided I was going to go. I didn't care how I felt. I was just going to do it. And of course, I went with no hair. On this bus trip.
Pretty brave thing to do.
Yeah, it was. But many wonderful things happened because of that. And one of the things was that I met Anne and Camille. Because they saw me with no hair, they of course surmised that I was undergoing treatment. And they came up to me and asked me if I had ever heard of Young Living essential oils. And I hadn't. So they asked me if they could talk to me about it. And I said, sure, you can. I said, why don't you come over and see me after I'm done my treatments? I wanted to do what the doctor ordered. I wanted to go through my treatments, and I wanted to recover a little bit. And when I called them, and they came to my home, and they told me about these Young Living essential oils. And I was really interested because I always felt that God, who created this universe, also created the plants that would help our bodies to heal. So this was a big thing about the Young Living essential oils. They were all natural, and they were made from plants that God created. So I started to, after they talked to me, I started to do a little bit of research on it, and I found out a lot of interesting things.
So let's, in summing up some of those things, because people that are watching now are probably very curious and saying, what is she going to tell us? Some of the things that the oils led you into or helped you with.
Well, the first oil that actually it wasn't an oil that I tried. It was their juice. It's called Nixia Red, and it's a wonderful tasting juice, and it's made out of, contains the superfood wolfberries. And these wolfberries are just supposed to be just wonderful antioxidants, and they're supposed to be able to attack free radicals, which of course after having chemo and radiation and just living in the world that we live in,
your immune system's compromised and you need that. Yeah.
And I decided to take this juice. In 2 ounces of this juice, you get the whole fruits and vegetables. You get so much that it's just absolutely amazing. And I also looked into other oils that I could use that I could put into the juice. And I came up with 2 that I really liked. I thought I would start small. And I started using frankincense, of course, and lemongrass. The frankincense, of course, is an ancient oil, and it's used for your spiritual well-being. And at that point in my life, and I'm sure many others, you really need to get a hold of your spirituality and really hold it tight to you. And that is supposed to help us do that.
It enhances it.
And center us. Mm-hmm. So I put a few drops, 5 or 6 drops, in my little glass of Nixia Red every morning. And I also decided to use the lemongrass. Now the lemongrass is full of everything, and it's one of the most powerful oils that you can use because it covers a whole spectrum of things. So I would take this every morning, and as the mornings went by, I researched more, and now I take the Nixia Red with my frankincense and lemongrass, and then I add into it the other oils that I have looked and felt that I needed. And I know that when I take these, that they will go into the cells that need them. And I know that God created our bodies to heal itself, and I feel that this is really helping me, empowering me to take care of my health and giving me a little bit of say over what happens to my body.
It sounds like you've had excellent results with what you've done. Obviously, you know when something is helping and when it's not. It's something you just know, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and I have loads of energy. I feel great. I
look
turned,
great. You're
thank
glowing.
you. I turned 70 this year, and I was happy to turn 70, and I'm going to continue to take these forever.
So let's do this. Anyone who's watching this, maybe someone got a hold of this video or it got passed to them on social media, or maybe they saw it on TV, and maybe they're going through a similar scenario that you went through. What would you recommend to them, and when would you recommend them to maybe look deeper into this?
I would recommend first to follow all your doctor's orders to the T, do everything they tell you to do. They want you to live as much as we want to live. After the fact, after you're healed, after you've recovered some months, look into these oils. Go on the website that's listed and look into them and see what you think will help you. Everybody is different, but I feel they made a big difference in my recovery.